Ecclesiastes chapter 3 and verse 15 says that whatever is has already been, and what will be has been before, and God will call the past to account. So whatever is has already been. In other words, there is really nothing new under the sun. Now, I know we live in a generation, in a culture that is mesmerized by new things. We love novelty. We love new stuff. When we talk about that God is going to do a new thing, of course He will do a new thing, but we are so captivated by new things, innovative stuff, innovative things. And sometimes that gets in the way of how God deals with us or how we respond to God, because God is the same yesterday, today, and forever. God doesn't change. He is the same God, and what He has already done in the past, He will still do in our time. Now, it is important also for us as God's people to understand that it's our imperative to be able to understand the times that we're living in. Like the sons of Issachar, we need to cultivate in ourselves a culture of understanding the times, the days that we're living in, so that we can give interpretation to the times and what God is doing in our time. You see, the time of Corona, and thank God we're coming out of Corona. I mean, there was a lot of voices. There was a lot of people prophesying, prophecies that never came to pass. Everybody trying to make sense of what was going on. And I remember actually doing a YouTube video, and I was just trying to tell people, listen, go back to the Word. Corona should not have caught us by surprise, because these are the signs of the ends of the times. It was already prophesied, and Jesus Christ Himself prophesied that in these last days we will see pestilences, diseases, wars, and rumors of war. These are the signs of the ends of the time. But unfortunately for too many Christians, sometimes we find ourselves actually during Corona, during that season, the trending videos were videos of people prophesying, saying, I slept and God gave me this dream. And somebody would just in the morning make a video, and within an hour, thousands have watched that video. And as a result, so many people became so confused. But we are supposed to be like the sons of Issachar, understanding the times and the seasons that we are living in. Allow me, today I'm going to take you back a little bit, and I'm just going to give you, this is going to sound more like a history lesson, but I just want to take you back a little bit because, and this is my thesis, or this is my premise, that the road to revival runs through the past. Did you hear me? The road to revival runs through the past. These are revival meetings, and we are here praying and believing that God will revive us again. But the road to this revival that we so earnestly desire actually runs through the past. In fact, I'm going to give you some facts, some historical facts. And let me begin by saying this, that is it possible, and I want to pose this question, is it possible that we are living on the precipice of a revival? Is it possible that we are on the verge of a spiritual revival like we have never seen? See, 100 years ago, the world was dealing with another pandemic, the Spanish flu. Some of you may know that. The Spanish flu, just like coronavirus, actually lasted just a little over 2 years. Unfortunately, the Spanish flu was deadly because at that time, of course, they did not have all the medical advancement that we have today. So it claimed the lives of more than 50 million people the world over. More than 500 million were actually infected by the Spanish flu. And this happened just 100 years ago, from 1918 to about 1920, 21, thereabouts. Now, during that season, while the world was dealing with this pandemic, coming out of this pandemic, just like we are coming out of a pandemic, here in Africa, we were dealing also with other issues that are so similar to actually what we're dealing with even right now. Africa, at that particular time, time, was mostly under colonial rule. East Africa was divided. Our own region was divided denominationally. Denominationalism promoted a sense of division among Christians. Now, if you look at our geography, our map in this country, you will notice one thing, that different denominations dominated certain areas. Am I right? I mean, and depending on where you come from, we can almost tell where your Christian roots are. Am I right? All right, and it's still evident today. And that was a scenario then. See, Christianity had come to Africa, of course, much, much earlier than that. But then during that season, the church was divided, especially along denomination lines. Today, in our time, the church is so divided. Did you realize that? Everybody is saying one thing or the other. Did you know that in this country, starting a church is the easiest thing you can do? It is easier to start a church in this country than it is to start a kiosk. Anybody can actually start a church and preach their own Christianity according to how they feel it. The other thing that was happening about 100 years ago, during that same season, as the world was coming out of the pandemic, conversion into Christianity, although yes, the church was here, although there was a lot of denominations, Christianity or conversion, as people converted into Christianity, it was mainly nominal. I mean, it was not some real conversions. Let me explain what I'm talking about. A lot of people, as the missionaries would speak to them, a lot of people would accept or receive Christianity, but primarily because of material benefits they would actually receive. So in that time, there was a lot of nominalism. So people would come to church, the churches will be full, and that was on a Sunday they will come and worship, but on Monday they will go back to their old traditions.